Hey folks, welcome back to another video. I am back at it on the SXP. Today I want to shorten the length of pole just about a ½ inch, mainly for one reason, just to see if it can be done. The SXP is a little bit different in this back end on a synthetic stock as compared to some other guns. Let's take a look at it. Okay, take the recoil pad off, and here is the back of the Winchester SXP. If you go through my videos, I did this process to a Mossberg 590 a little while back, and on them and a lot of other shotguns, the piece where the screws go in is a solid rib all the way up to the top and the bottom of the buttstock. The SXP here just has two individual holes. So that means you either have to find a recoil pad. If you're going to do this, you have to find a recoil pad that has this exact hole spacing, because you can't move one up or down, and it has the same, I believe the measurement is datum. It's from the top of the buttstock to this hole. So that distance right there. Because if you have a recoil pad that lines up there, that's never going to work. If you have one that lines up here too high, that's not going to work either. So the hole spacing with these, and only being two individual holes, and they stick out a little bit for this piece to, I think, help solidify the buttstock from bending in. Anyways, there's just a whole lot going on back here that's different from most synthetic stocks. So I'm gonna hack about a ½ inch off of this one, and that'll let me know if this is possible and if this recoil pad here is grindable. Because once we cut that off, these dimensions are going to shrink a little bit. This will have to shrink to match. There is not a steel shank in here, so we'll see if this is grindable, how it holds up. All right, here is the result of our cut. We now have completely flat surface. Our screw holes, or our screws, still line up with screw holes. Our pad is just a little bit proud now of top and bottom and sides. Our screw hole extension pieces, I don't even know what you would call those now, that were right here that extended beyond flat, came off. There's our cut piece, and our stock stabilization structural internal piece. Everything still lines up. It's now just a little bit too wide and long. So I don't think it's necessary, but if I want to, maybe I'll just try it just to see. I'll sand this down a little bit, and now I would have to cut little matching slots in the top and bottom for that to slide in there, add some structural integrity to the stock. I might do that just to play around, see if it's possible. And now we need to get our dimensions to grind this down. To do that, I'll have to attach the recoil pad, but most of our screw hole has been cut away. So I'm just going to extend these holes back a little farther with a 7/64 drill bit. Seems to be about the minor diameter of that screw, so that'll leave enough meat or enough polymer for the threads of the screw to bite onto. Okay, so I've got my stock level. I'm gonna have my drill the same level, and I detail this whole process in the other version I did with the Mossberg, cutting a synthetic gun stock. The bottom screw hole appears to angle just a slight bit, so I'll just kind of match it. This doesn't have to be super exact, but I like it to be as close as possible. And you only need a certain depth as well. I just matched the screw depth. Alright, just a dab of gun oil on those screws to help them cut some new threads going in there. So I just threw it back on the gun real quick. My length of pole came out to 13 3/8, which is honestly dang near perfect where I want it. There's not a whole lot of overhang. If you really wanted to, you could just stop here, and if it works for you, works for you. We do have just a touch of overhang on the bottom, not really any on the top. So I'm gonna mark that off, marker, razor somehow, so I can get a line to grind that. All right, so here's the method I've decided will work for me. Just a standard piece of white chalk. Need about 3 hands to do this though. I'm gonna get down there and just kind of scrape it off, and then rub it along there. And I should, if my calculations are correct, I should leave me a line of white that I will know to grind off. And here's our white line. Is it like perfect, super sharp? No, but there definitely is a line that I'll be able to follow on a grinder, belt sander, whatever you have. All right, I've got it all set up in the grinding fixture. Let's go see if this pad's even grindable. Tried to work this little stock support piece, but I was getting there. I was getting it fit okay, just on the grinder. But these, when I cut these open, we got a break right there and right there as well. And I don't think it's worth it to try to get this structurally sound. So let me get the recoil pad screwed on and we'll see how it looks. Are these recoil pads meant to be a grind to fit? I don't think so. Do they work? Yes, up to a certain point. Like as you can see here, I started getting to like the plastic underneath the rubber. Here's where I initially tried to like cut flush, just following it with a razor blade to see if that would work. So the belt sander got to my cut and it just kind of ripped that off. But I mean, generally pretty flush. Perfect? No. Decent? Yeah. It'll work if you need it to. Well, I think that's about it with this. Winchester SXP can have the length of pole shortened a little bit. The recoil pad is grindable to a certain degree to fit. And yeah, thanks for watching. If you think I earned it, I'd appreciate a like, a share, a subscribe. I'll see you on the next one.